Well, Shelby and Megan, we've actually had to move to a local park because while things seem relatively calm over there, we were just kicked off the property twice. We were kicked off the main parking lot and the outer perimeter because they are in a lockdown and they do not want people in that area. Shelby, we're still working to learn the condition of those officers who were shot. Right now, it is unknown. We have heard the police chief of the San Diego Police Department is prepping to speak later this morning. Melanie, no injuries at this fire after it broke out in an apartment here just east of the state capitol. Some of the people who live on the bottom floors were standing outside for at least 2.5 hours after being woken up in the middle of the night. I just learned from CNN that a mobile convoy is en route to affected areas with kitchens, bulldozers, and tents to help set up mobile medical or triage units. And David, Abby, this right here is where police say the father chased one of the men out of that back door. That man took off on foot down this way. He was caught a little bit later, but he's one of 2 men who tried to rob kids age 14 and 16. Bridget Owen, I'm on the south side of Lincoln on Concord Road, and if you take a look just behind me, a fire broke out at this house just a few hours ago. Well, yesterday a vigil was held outside of Memorial Stadium and several Husker players attended. 1011 talked to some of them who say Sam Foltz was well respected, friends with everyone, and a hero to the team. Not one but 2 Lincoln families affected by this fire, one of them getting help from the American Red Cross this morning. The other one was able to return to their home after LFR got things under control. I was tripping as I walked through this construction area where they're fixing Lincoln sidewalks and curbs. When they're broken, they can be hazardous for a lot of families who have young children. One mom says after hearing Mayor Beitler's announcement today, she's hopeful this problem is about to be solved. More than 100 people are expected to show up to the Lead Center's Commons and watch the Tonys on a big screen. Joining me now is Bill Steffen, the executive director of the Lead Center. This is a very big night for you guys.
It is our first ever Tony Awards party.
Good morning, Melanie. Shelby, I just spoke to police who said they will be here until 8 a.m. They have the eastbound lane of First and Cornhusker shut down right now. And in case you're wondering what happened here, I'm told it was a bicycle versus car accident around 5:40 a.m. A man was heading northbound. He hit at the crosswalk with a taxi, and there are witnesses that are on scene telling police that that man on the bicycle went against the signal at the crosswalk. Now, they were going to have a reconstruction team come here, but police just said they called that team off. They are going to stay on scene and continue to investigate this themselves. For your morning commute, like I said, First and Cornhusker, you may want to avoid the area. We're still finding out details about this man who we're told was taken to a local hospital and does have life-threatening injuries. We will update you on his condition later on 1011 News at noon and on our web channel 1011now.com. This fire is now completely out. LFR was called here at 3:30 a.m. This was the scene when we arrived at 4 a.m. 4 fire engines, paramedics still here. About 45 minutes ago, we were able to talk to some of the neighbors who live next door. A couple actually woke up to the smell of smoke. One of them walked over to the house where the fire was happening and tried to wake up the homeowner, but did not get a response. Now, that homeowner actually pulled up in his own car a little bit before 5 a.m. He was not home at the time when the fire broke out. I also just spoke to the fire chief who says there were no pets inside. So as I said, no injuries reported. Now, the fire chief says crews will be here for the next hour doing overhaul work, and they do not have an estimate on the amount of damage. Reporting live in Lincoln, I'm Natalie McCauley, 1011 News. Casey, this was not an easy story for Dave McQuinn to tell me. He says the family lost much more than just belongings, but a sense of safety in their own home.
If I could sell my house this week, I'd probably buy a different house right now. My son asked us yesterday, can we move?
David McQuinn has spent his Saturday comforting his sons after 2 robbers invaded their home. His 16-year-old is deaf and was sleeping when the criminals broke in Friday afternoon.
He rolled over and there's 2 masked men standing there over him. He didn't really know what to do. He can't hear. They obviously knew he was deaf. They were trying to wake him up, and they obviously couldn't by yelling at him or whatever, because when he woke up, they had wrote a note on a paper. They wanted to know who else was in the house, how old they were, if there was any guns or anything. And he told him his brother's downstairs. He's big, but he's still a kid. Don't hurt him.
The robbers zip-tied the boys in their rooms, leaving them there for almost an hour. McQuinn soon came home and ran the robbers out.
And I said, what are you blank doing in my kitchen? And he took off running, and I chased him out the door and down around my car, and then he ran through the university parking lot towards the end of it, and I was on the phone to 911 giving him a description of what he looked like.
Police arrested one of the robbers who fit the description McQuinn gave them. But he says the other criminal got away with precious items McQuinn says can't be replaced.
We went through stuff. They stole a lot of our memories and money and kids' Christmas presents that they had gotten, birthday presents they had gotten over the years. And
although McQuinn is happy to have his family safe, he still thinks about what could have happened.
Oh, and as a dad, you want to protect your family. And I didn't let them down, but obviously I didn't protect them all the way either.
The McQuinn family says they don't know why they were targeted, and one of these robbers is still on the loose. Police say he got away in a black Pontiac car with front end damage and was last seen wearing a ski mask. If you have any tips for police, please call Crime Stoppers at 402-475-3600.
Small-town Nebraskan Corey Mashat gave up his comfortable life on the farm to join what's known as the world's finest fighting force.
Coming from a small town, I lived on a farm all my life, and my dad definitely taught me good work ethic, just that small town pride. I come from a country where I can do what I want and have the freedom to do anything, and I just joined the Marine Corps. I wanted to give back.
But giving back required him to pass the Marine Corps' final test for recruits, the Crucible. Recruits are put through a 54-hour, 31-mile hike on foot. They get about 4 hours of sleep a night. They eat only 3 meals. It culminates with the Reaper, the last 10 miles of their hike on a hill, something Mashat says he can't believe he survived.
Going up the Reaper is very tough. Took a lot to push yourself to get through. Hiking up them hills, I've never been through anything that physically challenging before. I didn't play a lot of sports in high school, so it was really one of the toughest physical things I've ever done.
That's why the ceremony that follows this test
Sir. Hi, sir. Good job. Thank you.
is incredibly emotional. Recruits are given the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor by their drill instructors. To signify their accomplishment, they hear words of encouragement.
Did a good job. Thank you, sir.
As the sun rises, so do the world's newest Marines. And they're told of the legacy, the brotherhood they've joined.
Those warriors past are no different than each one of you, except that they have fought their battles and established our legacy. So it is your duty to uphold it.
A brotherhood Mashat now feels part of.
I know that they'd be there anytime I need them, and I'll be right there to have their backs whenever they need me. And it's just a special bond we have between each other now.
And David Kristen, Corey says he did join one family. He did not forget about his other one. He's going to see his family this Friday. He has not seen them in 3 months. He cannot wait.
And Natalie, as we saw in that video there, a lot of emotions come out at the end of that. Were a lot of people moved at the end of the Crucible?
You know, I think every recruit kind of handles it differently. Some of them were crying. Some of them seemed shell-shocked. They just couldn't believe they made it. So, yeah, you see a lot of emotions, and it touches you when you're watching it yourself. And I think the Huskers want it plenty after the season we've had, right? All right, thank you, Taylor. Sounds good. So far this year, Lincoln police have responded to more than 1,400 mental health crises. That's more than triple the number of violent crimes. Lancaster County's public safety director says people have shifted crisis care for the mentally ill to the backseat of patrol cars. An update now to a story we first mentioned yesterday. Omaha police have identified the teen who died after he was playing with a gun and accidentally shot himself. 18-year-old Derek Vaughn just graduated from Northwest High School a few weeks ago. The incident happened near 36th and Grand just after 2:30 yesterday afternoon. And as that heavy snow snaps weaker branches off trees, the city of Lincoln is offering a place for you to get rid of that debris. You can haul branches to the city transfer station at 5101 North 48th Street. Okay, thank you. 1011's Nicole Griffin reporting. A man who police believe to be armed and dangerous is now behind bars this midday. Lincoln police have been searching for 28-year-old LaShawn C.W. Rogers for almost a month. All right, well, thanks again for joining us today at 5, and you can see us both right here at 6 o'clock. You'll be here, right?
I'll be here.
You sticking around?
I'm sticking around, I guess. I just have to.
So, Brad, I want to make sure you got one of these because you've been doing such a good job with all this weather craziness. I watched you while I was in D.C. I was on vacation. I missed a lot of this, and you were just doing great. I was proud of you.
Now, they had a lot of snow couple weeks ago. Was there a lot left there when you were there?
A lot. It was
there
all over, kind of like in Lincoln
Yeah.
right now. It was just all over in clumps, all over the streets. So you got to be careful when you're walking because I was sliding all over, just like I am now.
Right.
So,
okay.
but I was glad I missed it. You know, I missed all the stuff here. That I missed a lot of the stuff there. I was kind of in the middle, just
Yeah, you
popping
were.
back in between. Oh.
Starcy looks like he's enjoying it quite a
That'd
bit.
be a great way to spend Christmas, playing with animals outside. Maybe take them
right.
sledding with you, right?
That's
And
right.
speaking of outside, are you about to say the 4-letter word I don't want to hear?